Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Capeloto and I'm going to be your third grade teacher. I want to take a minute to introduce myself and maybe answer any questions that you have about third grade so that you're prepared to have a great first week of school. First of all, I want to say hi to not only the students, but to your grown-ups. Your grown-ups might be your parents or your step-parents or your grandparents or aunties or uncles. So when I say grown-ups, I just mean whoever your people are, whoever help you get to school, do your best at school, and get a good education. So welcome to everyone. I hope to see you at back to school night tomorrow. But if not, I'll see you on the first day of school. Um, First of all, I want to say I usually have communication out to families a little earlier, but I have some exciting news, and that's that I am moving our classroom into the building out from the portable this year. So I've been very busy working on that, and most likely by tomorrow, when you see our classroom, it's going to look so good and clean and organized and not like piles of stuff like it does right now. It'll be great. It'll be fine. Okay, so like I said, my name is Mrs. Capeloto. A lot of times kids learn my name pretty easily, but grown-ups have a hard time. So if you call me Mrs. C or Mrs. Cap, or maybe you accidentally call me the name of your teacher from last year, or mom or dad or grandpa, I answer to it all because I've been called it all. The first fact I usually like to share is that I was a tater tot. This is me in third grade. I went to Union Ridge from kindergarten on when we were just a K-6 school only in building A when we were teeny tiny. And then I graduated from Richfield High School. So the cool thing about that is that a lot of the same teachers are working at our school, and they were my teachers when I was little. So I might have some funny stories to share with you about them. I also might know some of your grown-ups from when they were little, and some of you I know from daycare when you were teeny tiny and you went to daycare with my kids. So the cool thing about Richfield is even though it's getting bigger and bigger, we still have that great sense of community, which is why I love being a tater tot. This is my 12th year in education. I taught in Vancouver for a couple of years. I taught third, fourth, and fifth grade. And then when I moved to Richfield, I've taught only third grade because third grade is the best grade. I have a niece and nephew coming in just a couple of weeks. So I have a picture here. This is my daughter, who I'll introduce you to in a moment. And this is my sister, Mrs. Marsden. She works at Union Ridge. And in fact, we both taught third grade next to each other out in the portables. But she's moving to first grade this year. And my daughter's a first grader, which is why they're going like this. They're number one. But Mrs. Marsden is having twins next week. So you might see her around school for just a teeny bit, and then she's going to be on leave with her babies for most of the year. So I will probably have lots of cute baby pictures to show you and lots of fun stories coming soon. Another thing about me is I change my hobbies a lot. So I can see I need to edit this a little from last year because I mixed collecting things and adopting new hobbies together. I love coffee, partially out of necessity because I have two little kids. I love reading and baking. A lot of times the books I read, I listen to because I'm driving somewhere. And all the other time I'm usually reading whatever books my kids want to read. My favorite time of the school day though is read aloud because I love reading to third graders and I love getting suggestions of new books to read from you guys. So I'm excited to hear what you're into. This year, I'm trying out some new hobbies. I tried knitting last year and I made part of a scarf. It's a work in progress. I'm really into watercolor painting now. That's something new I'm trying. And my family just started going hiking as a family. So we're trying to get outdoors more and go on new adventures. So this is a picture of us. We're starting on very teeny tiny hikes so that our legs can get used to it and we're not whining as much when we go on big adventures. So far my kids are really loving exploring outside and we're working our way and building our stamina to maybe some bigger hikes later on. One thing that they do love for sure is Pokemon. My husband, Mr. Capeloto, is really into Pokemon, and so are my kids. So if that is an interest of yours, we'll probably get to talk about it a lot. Mr. Capeloto loves to come in and share part of his Pokemon collection with kids. So maybe you can trade cards or just talk about Pokemon and learn more about them. This is a cake that my daughter and I tried to make last year. It's supposed to be Pikachu. That was a lesson in resilience. We did not give up. This guy was really hard to make. And a new adventure my husband and I went on this summer is we went on a plane with without our kids for the first time, we went to Alaska. So that was very new for us, a big adventure going without them. And the last thing I like to let kids know is that I'm always a little nervous and excited for the first day of school. So if you're feeling that way too, you're not alone. I've had many, many first days of school, and I still feel a little nervous every year until I get there and I see who my kids are and I see that you're excited, and then we have a great time. So the first week of school, we're going to play a lot of games and get to know yous, and it's going to be pretty easy peasy. So my goal is that by the end of the week, you feel comfortable and confident in your third grade classroom with your third grade family, and you feel ready for a great year. All right. This is my family. This is Sirius. He's our black lab. He's named after Sirius Black in Harry Potter. Here's another picture when my daughter was born, because I just think he's such a good little guard dog. This is my husband, Mr. Capeloto, holding a bunny. We went to Rock and Bee Farms this summer, and this picture cracks me up because he just looks so excited to meet that bunny. Equally excited over here is my son, Bo. He just turned 4, and he is eating at his favorite, fanciest restaurant called Costco. He is having a hot dog and a slice of pizza, which are his favorite foods. He looks like this most of the time. He's a pretty happy kid. He is wild and says the funniest things, so I'll have a lot of Bo stories for you. And this is Emmy, my first grader. She's going to Mrs. McTie's class. She's very excited. She lost a lot of teeth recently. A lot of funny stories about that too. So here she is with her no teeth at 8 Cow Creamery, which is our favorite ice cream place. And this is what my kids look like when they're sweet and getting along. They are usually best friends, usually. And this is what they look like most of the time when they're wild and silly and making us laugh. So you will hear a lot more about them, I'm sure. My kids also love any chance they can to come in and meet my students. So I'm sure you'll get to meet them at some point, because they like being part of the big kid class and seeing what mommy students are working on. Next, I have some information for your grown-ups. Maybe, let's see, there we go. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Grown-ups, I have a family survey for you to fill out. I like to send this out each year just so I can learn about my incoming third graders and about your communication style. So whenever you get time, it doesn't have to be before the first day of school, but just when you can, there's going to be a link in the email I'm sending you to this. And it's just a quick survey to get to know your kiddo a little bit. This is also a great time to tell me who's involved in your child's life. I send out a weekly newsletter, and I try to keep all of our important dates and information in one spot so that you can come back to it when you need it. And while I will attempt Parent Square, I know how many messages you get as a parent, and it can be easy to lose stuff. So I'm getting better at using it, but the fastest way to contact me is probably email, because I check it regularly. And if there's anything that's time sensitive that you need to see, I'll always send it out on email and use Parent Square just kind of for those general reminders and for the school-wide reminders. But if you can tell me who you want to get those emails. Do you have grandparents that volunteer in the classroom? Do you have a nanny that picks up your kids after school? Do you have a step parent and you're shuffling kids and you want both households to know all the important information? That would be where you tell me who to include on that email list. Otherwise, I will just include whatever adults you have listed on Skyward. So if there's any outdated emails you need to take off of there or any new ones to put on, let me know and I can help you with that if needed. I also just want you to log in to Parent Square and just make sure you can see the school's announcements. If you're new to our school, we might have to get you on there. If you were on it last year, it should be just fine. Students, I have some homework for you. Just kidding. This is optional. I would love for you to check out our Google Classroom, because we're going to be using it a lot this year. I try to do about half of our work on paper and about half online. The cool thing about the online work is if you have access to the internet at home, you can show your grown-ups what we're working on at any point in time. It looks like this. You will go to Google Classroom. So if you have, even if you don't have your Chromebook, because that stays at school, if you have a laptop, a computer, an iPad, a phone, anything that you can borrow to show your grown-ups what we're doing, and you can get on Google, you can get to Google Classroom. You'll pull up a new window like you're going to Google, and you'll click on this little waffle thing up here and pick the chalkboard, or you can just type in Google Classroom. It'll take you to probably the teacher you had last year if they were on Google Classroom. So you'll go to this little plus sign to join a new class, and that's where you're going to put in our code, which is in the email you're getting, and then you'll hit join down here. It'll automatically put you in our class, which looks like this. There's not a lot on it yet, but we're going to add to it this year, and you're going to create a lot of amazing things, and you'll get to show your grown-ups under this classwork tab. But for now, I just put a couple get to know you questions on there. So if you're like me and you're nosy and you're curious and you want to see who's in our class too, you can go on here, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then read what other people are saying, and see if there's any names you recognize or any new friends you get to make. You may definitely comment on each other's posts as long as it's kind. Okay, so I put a couple of things about me. Feel free to add yourself on there and tell us a bit about yourself if you get the chance to. If you aren't able to get on Google Classroom before the first day of school, don't worry. You're enjoying your summer. That's totally fine. On the first day, we're going to get you on your Chromebook at school, and I will make sure you can log in and you can see everything you need to. Okay. After that, the last thing I have for you to do is to come to back to school night tomorrow, Monday. You can come at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. If we can have about the first half of the alphabet, last name, show up at 5, and the second half by last name show up at 6, that just helps with our traffic and getting in the doors. But if you need to flip-flop those times because of your work schedule or something like that, that's totally fine. When you get to school, it's going to look a little funky right now because we are getting some much-needed repairs on Building A's roof. So it's kind of like an obstacle course right now while the construction crews are finishing up, and we don't want you to accidentally walk through a construction site. So there are going to be these paths, and there are going to be tons of grown-ups directing you where to go. So you might take a funky path to our classroom in Building B, but don't worry. I will take you on a tour the first week of school so that you know exactly where to go and where everything is if you're not familiar with it. Okay? When you come into the building, not the portables, yay, the building. I'll be on the first floor with the first grade or the other third grade teachers, not first grade, third grade teachers. You can bring your school supplies if you have them. Don't worry about labeling everything because I tend to just pool all the supplies together and we pull them out as we need them and we share. However, because I'm a mom, I know that sometimes your kiddo picks out a special school supply and it is their favorite because it has their favorite sports team on it or that sparkly unicorn they just had to have. And they really want to keep that as their folder or their notebook. I understand. If something is special and you want to keep it to yourself to use throughout the school year, you can put your name on it. Otherwise, if you don't mind, we'll just put it together and I'll help you put things away. If you don't have your school supplies yet, Miss Chris in the Resource Center always has extra and can get you hooked up with some supplies, or just come on the first day of school and we'll make sure you have what you need. Okay. The first day of school is Wednesday. There is a late start this year. We're just keeping every Wednesday the same. So for your first day of school, I'm giving you the gift of that extra hour of sleep as you're getting used to waking up early for school. I know my kids are not used to that yet. And I will see you at 10:05. Our first special of the week will be art on Wednesday. So we'll have art with Mr. Golden. And then I'll give you a heads up of what our other specials are so you know what to expect each day. When you come to back to school night, you'll get to see the classroom. So organized and ready. I get to meet you. I'm so excited. And I'll have lots of information for your grown-ups to take home and put on their fridge or just keep it for daily reading when they are bored. And it'll have stuff like our school's new policy on cell phones, our policy on bringing in snacks. It's changed a little bit because of allergies. And third graders, I know you have been just waiting and waiting and waiting to hear about this. It's probably kept you up at night. I'm sure you're wondering, will I have homework in third grade, Mrs. Capeloto? And guess what? You'll have to wait to back to school night to find out. But I can tell you, it's good news. I think you're going to like it. I'm so excited to see you all tomorrow, Monday, and then again on Wednesday for the first day of school. But If you have any questions between now and then, grown-ups, feel free to send me an email so I can make sure you're prepared for the first day and you're feeling comfortable about your kiddo coming and spending all day with me. And kids, you can always send me a question on Google Classroom if you can log in, and I would love to answer it there. All right, everyone, I look forward to seeing you. Until then, enjoy your last little bit of freedom. Your last little bit of summer. Enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you soon.